Welcome to Luxuriously Poor, and thank you for stopping by. I hope you find this video helpful. Today I'm going to show you how you can make a meal from just potatoes and beans. And we're going to start off just by sauteing the potatoes until they're almost completely ready. Now I usually always have cooked pinto beans in my refrigerator, so what I'm going to do here is strain them, because I'm going to put them in with the potatoes. Now, the potatoes were cooked with a little bit of lard. You can use whatever oil you want, but I prefer lard. And I'm going to cook them together until they become crispy. My family likes the potatoes softer than crispy. In other words, I have to cook them really low and slow. Now, maseca is something that I always keep on hand because you can store it, just like you do flour or cornmeal. And the reason I do is because it gives me other options of food choices, other things I can do. And so therefore, I always keep it on hand. Now, what I'm going to do is mix 1 3/4 cups of maseca into a bowl and 1/4 cup of flour into the bowl also. I'm going to use 1 level teaspoon of baking powder and then a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to add some very warm water, about 1 3/4 cups, because you're going to make a dough with this. You want it to be very pliable. You do not want this to be dry. You want it to be very moist, but not soupy or kind of like a dough. You just knead the water in there and just keep kneading it. It takes time, and I think it's worth the time and the effort that you put into it. I just do. You may have to, you don't throw all your water in at one time. Do it a little at a time until you get it, the consistency. It should be a soft, pliable ball. But I think 1 3/4 cups will do the trick. But you can see I've got it's getting mixed in there. You see how it's looking? You see, I'm going to show you 2 ways you can make this. The masa, once you've turned it into a ball. But take a look at this. It doesn't have to be a perfect ball, but you want it to be a moist ball. And I would put a piece of plastic over the top of it, or a plate, while I'm pressing out my masa. I just make a ball of masa, and then I just gently pat it back and forth in my hands. However big you want to make them is how big you make the ball that you're going to press out. And then you fry them. But there is another way you can do this also. And that is, here's the beans and potatoes. I got to stir these. I want them fried, but I don't want them burnt, okay? I have a corn tortilla press, and you can press these out. You just make a masa ball, and I kind of smash it down a little bit. Now I have a plastic on the bottom and a plastic on the top. If you do not have a corn tortilla press, then use a plate. I have a small cake, like the smaller plates. Now, make sure that the bottom doesn't have a rim on it where it could mark it or cut it. And just press down on it. You just want something that will press it. And a plate will do that. It will. I used a plate for years. And then one day my son came home and said, "Mom, I found one of those corn tortilla presses at a store, and I bought it for you." Now here, I'm going to fill this. I'm going to use the plastic to kind of help me hold it and press the edges. I'm going to use the plastic to lift up one side of it, to bring the 2 sides together, to fold it in half, like you would a taco. And I'm going to press the edges, and I'm going to hold the masa with the plastic. That's right. And see, I'm pressing the edges. For a lot of people, this is the easier way to do this. You've got the masa inside, the beans and the potatoes inside already. And the other way you're going to have to cut it open. It's a little more work, I think. But both ways are good. But it's a good way. You can eat just potatoes and the beans. But like I said, the more you know, the more knowledge you have of how to change what you're cooking and how to do it different, the happier you'll be during all those difficult, hard times. Now here's a lot of the round ones. Now I'm showing you these. I only did a couple the other way just so that you would see. The other ones you don't have to do nothing to them. But this one you're going to have to cut them open because you're going to stuff them. And so you have to cut the edge. You use a knife. Now I have a small little serrated type knife. I don't know, it came with my set. And I cut it open. And so, you see there? I've got the knife going around the edge there. And it's just going to open it up. And that's it. And then you can stuff the inside of it. I'm going to show you here what it looks like. Just gently. If it's too hot to handle, use a napkin to hold on to it. You see? And it's open. And then you can stuff the beans and potatoes inside there. Because that's exactly what I'm going to do here. Is stuff it with beans and potatoes. Now, you can put salsa in this. You can put sour cream. It's up to you. But it takes a few potatoes or one potato and a little bit of beans. And you've got a meal here that is really, really good and can serve a lot of people. And it changes it. It's something different. And it tastes absolutely wonderful. I cannot stress enough how important it is for us to learn to do things different so our food does not taste so boring when we have to eat the same thing day after day.